So Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane opened the PEC Lekgotla in the province yesterday, and of course it outlined the program of action for the 7th administration. Mabuyane appealed to party leaders and members to respect the government of national unity, calling it a masterstroke for the country. He joins us now on plans for the Eastern Cape Premier and of course Chair of the Eastern Cape ANC. Thank you so much for joining us. An absolute pleasure to have you with us. I think let's start off with that wording, a masterstroke that is this government of national unity. Why it was important for you to make that point and put that on the agenda?
Good morning, Naledi, and good morning to viewers of Newzroom Afrika. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity. Yes, of course, it's something that was not anticipated, as it probably not was in the vocabulary of the current political dynamics, and people would always be thinking about coalition government, this grand coalition, that and that and that. I think for the ANC to really think through the process and be able to show that indeed it is a lead of the society, it had to look at that and really give meaning to what Tadu Mandela would have said when he described our country as the rainbow nation. So it would have been important, but also it would also assist us as the ANC to really move the country forward on the issues of national question. We've been talking about the issues of non-racialism sometime without really being practically aggressive in showing that we are really bringing South Africans together. So, but I think this time around, to say all political parties, small or big or medium, that have been voted by South Africans, there was an intention by those who voted them to play a part. And for the ANC to say, we are willing, we appreciate, we are humbled, we know that we didn't get 50%, we are at 40%, that's a reality. And it's a reality that we must all accept. So we can't live life of denialism forever. So how do we then build the country moving forward? Would it probably be something that needed that masterstroke that ANC brought up in the form of the government of national unity?
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I suppose you had to make that point in this PEC is to address some of the perhaps even arguments within your own constituency around this government of national unity, around, you know, the constituencies of the Democratic Alliance, for instance, where you've made the point that the ANC hasn't been able to penetrate those constituencies, but they've been able to penetrate yours, and you can unpack that. But I wonder what you then say to some of the utterances that have come out of leaders, for instance, of the South African Communist Party, that have called this government of national unity a sellout on the part of the ANC. And also I'm keen to get your thoughts on the expulsion of the former president, if that makes tensions within those constituencies even more difficult.
Very unfortunate, and I must say, we've been watching from far, but what we all know is that the national leadership of the ANC has done an extensive consultation with its allies in ensuring that whatever congruent point we actually arrived at, we are all equal and together. Unfortunately, we're between a hard place and a rock as the ANC. Something had to be done, and leadership had to rise to the occasion. It will always be those issues. You know, the ANC is a multi-class organization. It has got its own intra-dynamics, internal dynamics, from an ideological orientation to a number of other the factors or variables. But it's not for the first time ANC to make decisions like those, and we must all respect how the ANC is. I can tell you at some point when we had an issue of COSATU and NUMSA, many comrades in the ANC, probably including myself, knowing what would happen in Nelson Mandela as a highly industrialized area in our province. What would that mean, the expulsion of NUMSA from COSATU? But we had to live with that and understand how the COSATU has arrived at that particular decision. Because COSATU consulted and briefed, did everything to ensure that we understand the predicament it found itself in. ANC has taken a number of decisions. We will talk about the suspension of arms struggle. There will be a lot of comrades who are not happy about the decision that ANC has arrived at, including probably even the decision of government of national unity when it was not necessary in 1994. But because of ANC understanding the perfect meaning of its strategy and tactic, it understood how best you should be able to actually navigate the way forward in ensuring that you improve the chances of the ANC getting more and more bigger percentage on the electoral support in the country. That's exactly what we experienced in 1999 moving forward. So there would always be such kind of decision. The introduction of non-racialism in the ANC led to a breakaway called PEC today, because many people of the ANC, or few, were not really happy with that kind of decision. So the NEC is the highest decision-making body in between conferences. When the ANC meets, discusses, engages, everybody says, no, we are now clear, we are okay. It's ill-discipline and counter-revolution to have some NEC members and some individuals going outside ANC, throwing tantrums and all that. I think we must just manage our emotional intelligence around these issues. We are in a revolution, and we are very clear that we are hard at work to build a united country, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous country. So we've got to fight and work hard for stability in this country to ensure that we realize that. So from where I am, I don't know exactly why the ANC would really be pushed to go into government of coalition with anarchists that we've seen destabilizing our governments in local government. But because of personal understanding and relationship, the revolution, it will never be about that.
Okay.
We should not build systems around individuals. We must build systems institutionally, so that even if we are not there as a current leadership, the ANC still survives and continues to go forward. There will never be an ANC that can be outsmarted by the DA. DA has got no capacity to really outmaneuver the ANC on anything. ANC must unite with the alliance. It must focus at real issues at hand. We've got elections coming up in 18 months' time. So our preoccupation is how to bounce back, and is how to win confidence of our people.
Okay, let me
We've
ask you
spoken
this.
about this trust deficit that we've been observing.
Yeah, let me ask you this, Chair. As chairperson of the ANC in the Eastern Cape, then is that to say that you approve of the decision by the disciplinary committee to expel the former President Jacob Zuma? Are you in support of that decision?
No, definitely every reasonable member of the ANC would be in that support. When we spoke about renewal, we knew what renewal will mean, what renewal will bring to the ANC and its challenges. I don't think ANC has got now a space and tolerance for anarchists, regardless of what level are they in. ANC has got a membership that is equal to every member of the ANC, and the constitution that actually treats every member equally. Every member in the ANC has got duties, has got rights that are actually enshrined in the ANC constitution. So if you do something opposite, and if you do something that is listed as a part of a list of misconduct in ANC constitution, you've got to suffer the consequences of that. So there was no way. Actually, ANC waited for so long when actually it was blatantly disrupted by its senior cadre, a cadre that it has trusted with everything about the ANC. It would be unfortunate. We've never anticipated that we can have a situation like this done by leaders at that level. You would understand other minor breakaways of other young people who are ambitious, who suffer from rapacious behavior and all that. But we couldn't expect that. But ANC acted correctly. But the process of DC is a matter on its own. It must follow its process to its logical conclusion.
All right, let me ask you this. I want to ask you now to put on your hat as the Premier and step away a little bit from ANC politics. You've got on the 1st of August coming up in the Eastern Cape, the State of the Province address. Some real questions there about why it would take place 379 kilometers away from Bisho. So how have you explained this decision to hold SOPA 379 kilometers away from the capital when it's expected that obviously then you need to cater for accommodation, travel costs for 72 members of legislature, that this could be an expensive exercise?
It's very unfortunate that you still have people in South Africa who think like that. Where we are going to Eastern Cape. We are not holding our opening of legislature in another province or in another country. This province, unfortunately, it is as vast as it is, with an 800-kilometer radius from south to north, east to west. And people must understand that every person in this province has got a right and access to how government does things. It's not for the first time. We've been having, taking programs like taking parliament, taking legislature to the people. Exactly the similar arrangement would happen where we go out to our people and interact with it. It makes no difference. It's attitude that people are used, that it must be into this place only because it's convenient to them. We are making it convenient to people who are voting for our government, who are really making sure that the democracy of that government continues to move forward. So it's not a really, it's a very, actually, very difficult for me to fathom how some other people think about that. Surely the issues of cost and other things are well looked after, are managed better. Business in those areas, Alfred Nzo is the poorest district in this country, is poorest district in this province. So people there need business. If there's an opportunity for government to come and invest in whatever way, people of that part must also benefit in the.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know if you're still there. It looks like you're frozen, but I'm going to try and continue nonetheless and hope that you'll come right as we get further. So this State of the Province address, rather, for the Eastern Cape, set to take place at Ndabankulu Multipurpose Centre on the 1st of August. It is expecting to be hosting 1,500 guests this year. That's in comparison to 650 guests in the year 2019. Premier, I don't know if you're still able to hear me, but what are the costs associated then with this State of the Province address if you compare it to previous years?
You know, the legislature can answer those details better. There's a program organized by the legislature. I've requested the speaker to convene such a meeting. I'm invited to come and speak and open the legislature. So such details at an appropriate time will be given. It's the same ANC government without any other people saying anything. That when we came in, we said, looking at a situation at our disposal, let's actually close ourselves into the legislature and try to speak. But we've realized that we're not reaching as far enough to our constituencies. Our people have got issues of connection, poor connection. Some don't even have an access to these social media networks, including the formal media. I'm speaking to platforms now. So clearly, ANC must, as a people's party, as a revolutionary movement, must in its own way of doing things, whether in government or not, reach out to our people out there, those who are in the peripheral part of our province, so that they feel being part of this province. You remember some people who are bordering on the borderlines with other provinces will always be feeling this treatment of being stepchilds because it looks like everything must be done for convenience of others. So the ANC in the last couple of years took a decision to say, let's do it here. We started to move early this year outside the legislature to East London, where we had a bigger venue because the constituencies and civil society stakeholders, everybody would want to be part of such kind of an event, come and interact and be the part of the discussion that are taking place at that level, so that they don't have a hearsays about all what we're saying. So we are making a direct contact with our people. I can tell you they will be taking legislature to the people again by the legislature. It will be going to another district. It won't be going to the central area of East London, etc. So people must accept that all people of this province deserve, they've got a right in this government, and this government must go to its constituencies, to its people. These people must not come to Bishop. This to me means you don't have to travel all the way from Alfred Nzo for you to get services of government in Bishop. Bishop must be able to move to our people wherever our people are. So we are making that, we're internalizing that, whether you used to stay in your good, nice suburb in East London or in PE. You must know now, time has arrived that we go to where really challenges of development remain chronic, remain an albatross, so that we have got a first-hand information, we experience how our people are living in those areas, for us to be able to understand better how to argue and engage when we come to legislature. Yep. Not what people are doing and are always saying, talking things in abstract.
All right, Premier, an absolute pleasure speaking to you, and we really do appreciate your time, Eastern Cape Premier there, and also speaking to us at the beginning there in his capacity of ANC Eastern Cape Chairperson, Oscar Mabuyane, this morning. All right.